We ask that customers please remain clear of the gate area until the relevant group number is
Okay, so I've just arrived in Dana. I still can't pronounce where I am. I'll work on that for the rest of the trip to actually pronounce the name of the location I'm in. But I am walking to the centre, and it is so hot out here. It's like 38, 39 degrees. I got to the hotel, just chilled out for a little bit, did a little bit of unpacking, actually getting sorted because I'm staying here a little bit longer than I have done on my other trips. Normally I just get stuff out of the bag as I'm going, but this time I laid it all out nicely, so it's at least 4 nights. And I looked at the pre-qualifying draw, and I'm not playing till 3:30 tomorrow, so that gives me a chance to get a little bit of a sleep after the long travel day today. I think it was like 12 hours door to door. And yeah, so I'm just going to head down to the club, just take a look at what's there. I think the qualifying site, or the pre-qualifying site, and the practice courts are in a different location. I'm going to head to the main site now and try and practice a few serves. Nothing too intense today, as it's been quite a lot of load already. And then tomorrow morning try and find someone to practice with, but it's quite tough when you come by yourself. But I'll send out some messages to people. But yeah, it's my plan. Survive the heat, get some food on the way back, and that's going to be about it for today. There's the club up there. There's the club. Alright, so I've just woken up this morning, and I can't lie, I am feeling a little bit tired. I think the journey yesterday took it out of me a little bit, but I'm sure once I get going I will wake up a little bit. At least my match isn't until 3:30. But yeah, that's the first round of the UTR tournament for me, and I've actually got a bye in that. I played the winner of the round before me, and I think most likely I'll play someone with the same UTR as me. This is the first time that I've actually looked at my UTR in a long time. I kind of try to avoid looking at it, as I've always had trouble in the past with kind of like looking at rankings, and then I'd kind of go into matches and be like, oh, I'm not supposed to win this one, and yeah, just stuff like that. I just get a bit too wrapped up in the whole rankings, and I see what my number ranking is, and then I kind of put that onto myself and put that as like my identity, as like that's what I am and that's how I should be playing every single match. So I've tried to avoid that in the past, but obviously because this is a UTR tournament, I've had to have a look at it. So yeah, I mean, like right now I'm a 10.4 UTR, and like 5 years ago I was like an 11.8 or something, and then after I came back from my heart stuff, I went down. I think I was even in the 9s at one point, and then I went back up to 10. So it just goes up and down so much, and yeah, I just I don't really like looking at it that much, because I just think, oh, I should be better than that, or that person's better than me now, so I should be losing this match. And then too much stuff happens in my head about the results of the situation and what should be happening. But I'm really trying hard to just get out of that mindset and just remember that just because someone's a 10 or an 11 that day, they might be playing like a 9 on 2 games, and then they might play one game and then play like a 13. And everyone goes up and down loads in the way that they play and match to match, and this UTR is just like an average and an estimation based on the last few matches that you've played. So what's to say that an 11 couldn't beat a 13 and then lose to a 10, for example? And not even just in like the whole matches, just more in like the specific games that they're playing throughout a match. Like for 5 games you might be playing really well, and then you might be playing better than your UTR, and then for the next 5 games you might be playing much worse and they might be playing better. And I just think you have your level that's within you, and you've trained, and there is a specific level there, and it might not reflect it on the ranking, but if you get caught up on what your ranking is, then you're never going to put your full potential on the court. And so I've been trying hard to come back to what I've learned in, I think, my 2 favourite books that I've been reading recently, or that I've read throughout my tennis life so far, that has really helped my game. And I think I kind of lost the essence within them a little bit, so I'm trying to really bring myself back to it. And I think that my level of my tennis is there to play well. I mean, like coming off the confidence of hitting with the pros, which was just such a crazy experience and amazing for me. Like I can compete with futures level players. Like I can do that. I can hit with the top pros. I can play some points with them, and it's fine. Like I can do that, but then my mind just lacks a bit of self-belief. So I've been coming back to these 2 books here. I've had the let me get them up here. The Inner Game of Tennis, which is just the best tennis book I think of all time, and then this book that I haven't seen many people talk about that much, but 10-Minute Toughness. And what I'm trying to do is use the philosophy and what I've learned from the Inner Game of Tennis here, and then apply that reasoning with the full formula, I was going to say, but more just the how and plan that's given within 10-Minute Toughness. Because I understand the Inner Game of Tennis and understand what I need to do, but actually implementing it within my own game, like I don't think I actually do it that well. And when I'm playing matches, I don't execute it to the best of my ability. I still get caught up thinking about results, about what I want to happen and how others perceive me and all that sort of stuff, rather than just focusing on winning the inner game, which is the whole point of the book. So starting today, I'm going to be implementing it through 10-Minute Toughness and using the mental training program they have in here, but with the philosophy of the Inner Game of Tennis. So let me just dive into a little bit more detail on that. So within the Inner Game of Tennis, is basically just talking about how you need to fully concentrate on either the ball or sensations to take your mind away from the results and everything that's happening around you. So you need to focus on letting yourself to perform, which is like the unconscious mind, when you're playing without thinking and you're just fully within the moment, in the present, and just let yourself perform in that zone without getting distracted by your conscious self talking to yourself. So like thinking about technique or you talking words to yourself. It's all about a visualization and being within the present. And he's basically just like, if you can do that throughout the whole match, then you've done the best of your ability. You've let your body perform the best way it possibly can for that whole match. And if you lose the match, then whatever, because you know that you performed to the best of your ability. But if you keep letting distractions of what other people think, people around you, external stuff affect the way that you're playing, then you've limited yourself. So going back to what I was saying about UTR, if I'm just keep thinking about what my UTR is and what my opponent's UTR is, then inevitably my UTR is going to get worse or it's going to stay the same, and you're always going to be caught up in that results, what it's going to look like online, what you should and shouldn't be doing with regard to wins and losses based on what your ranking is. But if you just fully focus on the present, fully focus on watching the ball, breathing, doing the things that you need to do to let your body perform the way that you've trained all this time, then you're going to do the best of your ability in the match. And whoever wins and loses the match, it doesn't really matter that much because you've put the best of your ability on the court. And if you haven't performed as well as you want to, then you just get back to training court and train a bit harder, working on different things within your game, and then you go back on the match court. And then if you're able to stay in the present the whole time, you're able to fully focus on the now, the whole match, then you know that you've done the best of your ability that day. So then the question is, how do you actually implement that within training and actually get that on the court? And that's where the 10-minute toughness comes in. Okay, so it's basically like a 5-part process that you just do within your mind. So the first one is doing like a big centering breath, and breath work is so important. Anyone who has done any sort of research into mental side knows that breathing is one of the most important factors to bring you back to the present moment. But it's just practicing that long breath, and they have like a specific time for how long you want to breathe in, how long you want to hold, how long you want to breathe out for. And then he does what you call a performance statement. So this is kind of like a little motto that you can repeat to yourself during the match. So this is an example that he's got here for a college quarterback, and he says read, set, follow through. So one in tennis could be something like watch the ball, move your feet, follow through, something like that. I'm going to fill this out for my own one, and then get started today. You're supposed to do it every single day for as long as you can, and then it should transfer from your training to matches. So I'm not expecting to be able to, I'm not expecting it to make a massive difference today straight away, but you've got to start somewhere. And this mental side, I think, is really what's held me back in these matches, because I truly believe that with my level of tennis, I can qualify for these tournaments, but I think my belief is what's let me down. And I think watching the matches back, the last few matches, when I'm on the court, I'm thinking like, wow, this guy's tennis is a lot better than mine. So I have to do crazy stuff like try and hit winners, or I can't out hit him, so I need to just get every single ball back in play. But then when I'm watching it back and I'm watching the quality of his ball with the quality of my ball, it's like the quality of my shot is there. I just need the belief that I can maintain it for longer rallies or for longer point situations. And yeah, it's just that belief. So I think doing this plan is going to work. So the next point is a personal highlight reel, and this is basically just visualization, and it's visualizing key moments in previous matches, in training, that really give you confidence that you can perform at a super high level. So this would be like visualizing you playing well against a player, or visualizing a win that you've done. And this isn't making something up, this is purely going into your memory of how you performed well, and that gives you confidence because you know that you've done it. And often when I go into matches, I kind of just forget all of the good things that I've done in the past and just focus on now and form a narrative in my mind of why my opponent should be winning this match and why I shouldn't, rather than why I am capable of winning this match. And it's important to not get caught up on the winning and the losing, because going back to the inner game of tennis, if you do that, then you're not going to put your best ability on the court. But if you have that confidence inside you, that you have that level inside you and that you can perform, you're going to be able to tap into that when you are focusing on the present and watching the ball and focusing on the feelings of the sensations happening around you, anything to bring you back into that present moment. And then the next one is what he calls an identity statement. And this is basically what I was talking about there with like your self-image. How do you view yourself? So he gives the example of, you could say, I have the talent and the drive. I am the most accurate passer in the country. So that's obviously not for tennis, but you could create like a tennis related one. And it's just something that you actually genuinely, truly believe. And you can tap into that whilst you're playing your match. And if you do this mental routine every single day for months, for example, then you will believe it. And you're not trying to tell yourself something that isn't true. You're just reaffirming a core belief that is accurate and that you do believe within yourself. And it's going to teach you to have a narrative in your mind that you can do it and that you have the ability, rather than creating the negative mindset of why your opponent should be winning that match more than you are. And if if you focus on this stuff rather than rankings and UTR and ignore all that stuff and just perform by being in the present and having these core beliefs, then what's going to happen with the UTR is going to happen. It's going to go up, it might go down, it might go up again. It doesn't matter. Just keep focusing on getting better, focus on the process and ignore what's happening there. And it's hard when there's so much social media now and everyone's in the comment section. Any time anyone posts a reel about their tennis, everyone's like, oh, what's your UTR? Or if a coach is posting some advice, they're like, oh, don't listen to him, his UTR's not very good. And it's just, I think it's quite silly because everyone's just out there trying to get better. Everyone's trying to help people. And just focus on yourself, focus on the moment, do everything that you can with the mental work off the court to put yourself in a good frame of mind and a place where you can perform to the best of your ability. And then just the final section of this little mental workout is doing that centering breath again. So you start with a deep, long breath, you hold, and then you breathe out for a little bit longer than you breathe in. And then you do that at the end, and then you can use that centering breath when you get to like a stress point in a match or a really big point. You can do that before you serve. So that's kind of the routine that I'm going to be following for as long as possible, and I'm going to start that today. And he's got a worksheets in the back of the book where I can fill it out. So I'm going to write some stuff in here and then put it into my Notion template, and then just keep track of it to make sure that I'm doing it every day. And yeah, I'm going to try and start that now and just use this mental stuff, and just trust that I do have the ability, that I can do it. And it might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, it might not happen for the next 5 tournaments, but over time, I will be able to put that level that I have on the training court into matches, and I will be able to bring that belief into the matches that I'm going to play. So, yep, going to do that now. I tried to message like every single person in the wildcard tournament to practice, but everyone's already got a practice partner, so I'm just going to have to do my own warm-up and try and find a hitting ball, maybe do some serves, but going to have to just maybe play the first few games, just making a lot of balls just to get fully warmed up and then get into the match. But yeah, get this done now, head over to the match, and let's see how it goes. It's out.
Quiero que le pegue a todo. Bola que te venga a un medio que le pego. Obviamente no le va a pegar a una que esté en la mano. Pero pégale a todo.
felt, and haven't played in that heat for a full match since as long as I can remember, to be honest. That was tough, but I'm glad I got through it, and I was able to keep my mind, and I think that was the most important thing here, was that I just kept doing what I wanted to do, and I think that mental routine that I implemented from that book was really helpful. I mean, I've only done it once there, but going into that match, like, I was clear on what I wanted to do with regard to the mental side, and I think that's super, super key. And I was able to stay in the present. I just kept telling myself, just like, if you just keep your mind in the present and you just try and move your feet well, even if you lose the match, it doesn't matter. I've done the right thing and I've put my best level of tennis on the court. If I lose, I lose, and it doesn't matter. I just go back to training and try and get a little bit better. And I was able to do that, and I feel like I won the mental side today. And I feel like in my last 5 or so matches, I wasn't winning the mental side. Even though I played decent tennis at times, I was losing the matches. But the most important thing was keeping the mind throughout the whole match and winning that mental battle, which I haven't been doing, and I did that today. And I think even if I lost that match, I'd still be proud of the way that I performed with my mind. I think that's the most important thing. So I think actually doing these pre-qualifying wildcard tournament matches are so key for me right now, because it just gives me a chance to practice it. And if I don't get into the tournament, I don't get into the tournament, but this has been such a valuable experience, and I'll just keep playing tomorrow, just keep focusing on the mental side and just take one day at a time. I think I'm just going to keep on trying to be in the present, not worry about getting into the tournament, not getting into the tournament, winning matches, losing matches, just keep the mental side in check and try and win the mental side every match. And if I do that, I'm happy. And then if I'm doing that and I'm losing the matches, then I know there's stuff to work on. But how can you tell if you're getting better or if you need improving in certain areas if you're not winning the mental side of each match you play? So that's going to be my focus for tomorrow. But now just going to get some food and drink a lot of water and just rest up and be back for tomorrow.